Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. But today we're going to be talking about the con experience. I'm Angie.
I'm David.
I'm Aaron. What's up?
Hey, and before we do that, Aaron is going to tell us about Black Panther. He went to go see it this weekend.
Yes, I did, and I've seen it twice already. I went to see Black Panther at Howard Hughes Place in Culver City in Los Angeles, and I went with my family.
Because here is not a good place to see
that. and those seats shake and make noise over there at Howard Hughes Place.
On Geonosis, we just don't have that.
Yeah, not at all. But my Black Panther experience or film experience, it was really eye opening and with the simple fact. Well, before the movie, everyone was so ecstatic. Everyone was we were waiting in line first, so we waited in line for about 15 minutes until they finished cleaning the theater. Because I guess the last group of people who saw it, they were just like so in love with the movie. Like popcorn was everywhere.
Oh wow!
So
I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, so we waited for like about 15 minutes, and everyone was just sharing experiences of what made them want to go see it. For some people, was their first superhero movie experience. The first time they've been to the movies in a long time. So people were just coming out of woodwork just to see what was going on with Black Panther, seeing what the hoopla and the hype is about. And
it's like Star Wars, but for a different generation and a different medium.
Exactly. Right. And it's the same thing. Like I would say when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I knew more so about Black Panther than I did the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just because my dad put me on the superheroes like the Black Panther, Luke Cage, and the Iron Fist. Those are like my dad's favorite comic book heroes, you know. So I knew more about Black Panther than I did the Guardians of the Galaxy. But when I'm not gonna spoil it, of course, not at all. But making a reference to the Star Wars and stuff like that, like just the technology that Wakanda possesses, and how ahead of the curve they are than everyone else around the world, which is a big part of the movie. You get to see that as far as like the futuristic aspect or where they are. Like they're just ahead of the curve, what they possess and what they have, their resources and stuff like that. But at the end of the movie, what the movie told me was, there's a lot of stuff going on around the internet. Like, is this a Black film? Is it a film for everybody? Is it a film?
I think it's a film for everybody.
And that's of course, only the ignorant people might think something like that.
Right, right.
But absolutely, when I left the theater, leaving the theater, of course, people from every color, every race were in that movie theater, and I felt like everybody who left that theater got a sense of they wanted to see or dive into where they come from. Yeah, and that's what the movie did for me. Is for like whether you're Black, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. You kind of want to know your ancestral background. You kind of want to know where you come from, just because it's so heavy heritage based, and their practices in the movie are so they're so tied into the African. So everyone wants to know like what's their ancestral background, where do they come from, what did their ancestors do, like where they're exactly from, not just like a Ancestry.com. You actually want to do a DNA test and like
find out where you're from.
Whether you're
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's what Black Panther did for me. When everyone left the theater, everybody I feel like everybody kind of was just looking at their hands like, oh, like where am I? You know what I mean?
But I think it opened up a door for the Black community that you've never seen before.
Oh,
because they said 37% of the moviegoers were Black.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, I go see superhero films all the time, and they're not predominantly Black. You know, when I go see, whether it's Captain America, whether it's Superman, Batman, Superman, there's some, but there's not many.
But this is speaking to a different generation and different kids. Think about all the young kids that went to go see that.
Yeah.
And now they're thinking, hey, I can do this.
Exactly. I could even direct. You know, it's so crazy. Like my friends, my friends here, they didn't know who Ryan Coogler was, and we watched the interview here that he had on Hot 97. It's a radio station in New York. And, hearing him talk, he sounds like you would think, like, how come, why did Disney or Marvel allow this guy to make this movie? Just because the way he talks. I mean, he sounds like one of my friends who I grew up with, like, in South Central. That's how he talks. He's from Oakland, by the way.
Yeah.
But
oh, wow.
He doesn't sound like your typical director.
Right.
And even me, being a Black man myself, I was even shocked. I was like, oh, like,
But you see, that's what made the movie good because
exactly.
it is not the standard
And-
in a box kind of movie.
and it's not your traditional.
Right.
So it's really based. It's really driven on heritage, and not just Black people's heritage. And it's the thing. It's everyone. Like you get the feeling like I want to go see where I come from. I want to even be just a better person. It's from race to being a humanitarian to bettering yourself to
Yeah.
it's one of the it's that's what that movie.
You know,
did.
that kind of reminds me of, when I was younger, we watched the show Roots, and it was all week long kind
Yeah.
of thing,
Yeah.
and it
LeVar
really
Burton.
made
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
proud of who they were. They
Yeah.
wanted to go back and find out where they're from because this told a story almost like what you're describing,
Yeah.
of people's heritage and roots, and be proud of that.
Exactly.
Be proud of who you are, and where you've come from.
Yeah.
And where your family has come from. You and I have talked about
Yeah,
that because both
absolutely.
our parents are not from here.
Yeah, true.
So, we're proud of who we are
Yeah.
and where we come from.
And Black Panther, the superhero aspect of the movie is just a bonus. You feel
Yeah.
on top of that. Like you get it's more so about the heritage and the ancestry and like where these people come from, why Wakanda is so, what makes Wakanda and why they're so off from, they're
It's like a cultural flick,
exactly.
more
And then-
so than a
and then
superhero.
The cherry on top is just like, oh, it's a superhero movie too, like
Right,
with
right.
action and gadgets
but
and cool
now,
shit.
now they can go forward
Yeah.
as a fighter. He can
Yeah.
go as a superhero.
Yeah, and one thing was crazy too. Which is like when we left the movie theater, people were nicer. Like,
Oh, really?
And I really mean that. What I mean by that is, of course, we're all adults. People have manners and stuff like that. But I mean, like, when taking the escalator back down, people are like, "No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The
No,
atmosphere
go."
in general was a lot better.
Changed before to get in the movie theater. Everyone was kind of you sense like nervousness, like,
Right.
is this movie all hype? But you saw people before us come out like, like sheer joy and running up to the movie poster, taking pictures in front of it, and
Proud of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
kids who don't even know who these other kids are, like, oh, did you see that part?
Yeah.
So we were like, oh shit, this movie crazy, or I mean, what's going on? So when we go in the movie and we come out, those people after us are like, we were just those people 2 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago in that line, like. What are they so ecstatic about? Why are they running up to the poster trying to take a picture with, you know what I mean? So that's what I took from and that's what I wrote on my Instagram post. I was like, you guys really need to check this out because not just for, what it did for the Black community. It's like everyone left wanting to know, where do I come from? And like, how could I just be a better person? And
Right.
even like wanted to dive into what's going on with the world as far as politics go. And because I feel like Black Panther had all that, from politics to religion to culture,
Right.
to just
Right.
raising questions and awareness.
I'm hoping that the film itself, like when people see it, because we'll call them ignorant people, but one of the things I kept seeing for like the past couple months on like social media was like memes and stuff going around like Black Panther is the first Black superhero, and people go, nuh-uh, like Spawn or but that's not the point.
That's not exactly.
He's the first African superhero.
And David, it's crazy that you mentioned that because it's a gentleman in this room, in this studio today. My friend Konami, he wrote something on his. I was poking fun of him yesterday about it, but he didn't piss me off. But I was just like joking. I was like, you kind of made me mad. But he wrote something on Instagram also, and it was exactly that. Like he wrote like, if you guys are tripping to think if Black Panther is the first Black superhero, I'm like, that's not what it is.
That's not the point.
That's not what
point.
it is. It's how he was depicted. It's how what the people of Wakanda, because we all know Wakanda stems from Africa, but it's a fictitious place.
Exactly.
Right.
And how they brought the place to life, like to where it's like, to where there's memes like or even I don't know if it's Southwest Airlines or some airlines, or even like they changed, like to people who are going to South Africa or Cape Town or Africa, they changed it to Wakanda. That's how impactful the movie is, because people are just like, it's a, they brought it to life where you really believe it. You know what I mean? So that's what I left with. Other than it being a dope superhero movie and a dope Marvel Studios film, and I commend them for that. It took me by surprise because it could have easily been all hype. And the movie could have not been good. He's never directed a superhero movie ever, so it could have not been good. But for it to be good, and for you to leave learning something, wanting to learn more, like whether about yourself or just about just different culture.
Yeah.
It did its job, especially for the time we're in, the climate that we're in.
And it's done great. It is.
Yeah.
It has
It's like
been the
300
biggest
million last weekend.
The
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
movie opening for a February movie. The biggest.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
chose a perfect time for
Perfect
it.
time.
Right.
Time. And some things are just all about timing. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie could have came out in November and it could have did a lot different.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like it coming out early in the beginning of the year. Everyone's getting their taxes. Everyone's ready to blow money and everything. Like, yeah, we're gonna go see this movie with a large popcorn, with a large soda, icy, and just, you know what I mean. It just made it more fun, and that's what the movie theater experience was about from beginning to the end.
But
Everybody
if you
was,
come out,
yeah,
if you come out wanting to know where you're from, because a
Yeah.
lot of people don't. A lot of
Exactly.
people don't. I do. You do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I say, you never know who's got what in them. Because
Absolutely.
I have African and French in
Yeah.
me. My great grandmother was African and French, and who knows? She could have come, her father, her mother, or even herself,
Exactly.
from an African
Exactly.
nation. You don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
And that's why I was saying the curiosity, everyone's curiosity
Right.
level, like, rose. And you can see it. Like I said, people were coming out the movie theater, like, they open the door, someone's holding the door for you, and they're like, thank you. And it's like, you enjoyed the movie? Like, yeah. And they're just like, I need to go do some homework. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everyone left the movie theater with, like, a purpose, like.
Yeah, they wanna
I'm
go
gonna
find out, yeah.
Yeah, whether I'm going to go read Black Panther comics or I'm going to find out where I am, where I come from, ask my parents questions, because that's what I did. I was like, Dad, where are you guys really from? Who do you know how far back, And that's what it did for me, and so I feel like they did their job with that, especially with
Now,
the climate we're in.
do your parents know? Do they know how far back they go?
My dad, not more so my mom, but my dad is so. I mean, my dad is someone who watches like Ancient Aliens all day, 24/7. He's that person. So he's just curious about just everything. So I would say he does. When I asked him like after I saw it the second time, and he even thinks like they go back to Britain. He thinks that they go back to Britain to where his whether it's
Possible slave ship
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing?
exactly. Then to Belize, and then his family members stuck there through the war and never left. That's what he thinks. So, it's just a matter of just going back and actually seeing exactly where we come from. But that's what he believes. But that got him even to want to see the movie. Who doesn't even go to the movie? Last time I think he went to the movie
Was
theaters
Star
when
Wars.
Training Day or Star Wars or Training Day came out. So he's not a movie theater guy. But I even think we're even gonna go this Tuesday coming up.
Oh, good for you.
Tuesday
I wanna
night.
go.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just so because I told him the same thing. I was like, people left wanted to find out more about themselves, and I think that's what the whole thing. I think that was more so Ryan Coogler's mission, more than just to give everyone just a superhero movie, just to more so like.
I love the fact that it is a superhero movie, because
Exactly.
a lot of times you see movies with black folks in them.
Yeah.
It's a comedy or it's a
Yeah,
romance or
exactly.
something. This is outside the box.
Yeah,
it is, and I like that. I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's a superhero, and it's also that it deals with your
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah,
I
your
love
roots.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think a lot of people need to go back. I've spoken to many people, and throughout the years about their heritage and things, because I'm always interested in that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
And I spoke to one lady. She did a D20. Was it a DNA test?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she was black,
Yeah,
but her family was Russian.
yeah.
And so you never know where people have come
And
from.
that curiosity raised, like
Right.
mine did, and I feel like everyone else. And I was watching the movie. I was sitting next to two gentlemen, a dad and a son, and they're pretty geeked. I think they're gonna be at WonderCon the first day, and we were talking during the movie as far as like, oh my god, that part's cool. You share those
Yeah.
moments in the movie
Right,
theater,
right.
And after the movie theater, we were talking, and dad was like, I wasn't even gonna come see this just because he. And he was being honest. He was like, I didn't want them to like embarrass us. You know what I mean? So that's how deep people, not like I said, not just black people, just people like whether it's come to film period or just whether just this film, like they were on high alert. Like I wanted to be so good, or I wanted to be good that you know what I mean. So he left the movie theater like satisfied. I'll say like everyone else, everyone rounded applause. No one left not one person left. So, you know, you have those people who leave during the Marvel movie. Just like, where are you going? You know,
Right.
You know, there's going to be an after credit scene. No,
was there an after credit scene?
Oh yes, there was an after credit.
I heard it was good.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I could say there's two, so I'm just letting you guys know. Just don't leave. You know, don't leave. There's two. But no one left. Everyone clapped their hands. Everyone, like, during the movies, like, there's part where you root and everything. So all the emotions were there. The action was there. It was like all around.
To see it. I cannot wait to see it.
And I have a feeling it's going to be, not saying it's the first movie ever to, like, not whitewash any sort of African-American culture or anything. But I think because of its theme, it being a superhero movie that everybody's going to go see no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
And being able to tie in, even though it may be Wakanda, but being able to tie in tropes from African-American, African civilizations, and not having them whitewashed, not having them altered, nothing. Just like in their pure
their pure essence. Exactly.
Right.
And put into a film that everybody's going to see with Academy Award-winning director and some of the best actors.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the next 10 years at least are going to be great for like an explosion, like a renaissance African-based film.
And there's sometimes with that, it needs to be like that movie that takes the leap first. Like, for example, we were talking about Matrix earlier. Matrix was the first of its kind. And people didn't understand Matrix when it came out.
Right.
You understand, Will Smith was supposed to be Neo. He said, no, I'm going to do Wild Wild West instead.
Oh, my goodness.
Because, like, what? You mean to tell me I took a pill and you plug a USB cord out the back of my neck? And that's what he said. He was like, there's no way I'm going to...
He would have been great.
And he even questioned Lawrence Fishburne. He was like, you're going to be in this movie? Like, come on, man. Like,
he was so good
Lawrence
in it.
Fishburne was like,
my gosh.
it makes sense to me. I mean, I'm really not doing anything. I'm sorry, Will, but yeah, I'm gonna. And then Matrix turned out. So there.
It's
and then how many
iconic,
movies
too.
after Matrix were like came from Matrix?
Exactly.
You know? So,
Right.
So this is what, you know what I mean. This is what I feel like this movie is gonna do. We all have gotten superhero movies, but to tie in just more elements. It doesn't have to necessarily be this heritage and race and stuff, but just elements.
I think,
what I mean? Just elements.
Personally, it's fresh.
Exactly.
It's fresh. It's a fresh idea, and it's fresh as far as the standard superhero. You know, it's not the standard superhero like Iron Man, or these are ones we've known all these years.
Yeah.
This is outside the box.
Yeah.
You know, it's something outside, and I think it's fresh and people love it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it steps outside of that. The same thing when we watched Luke Cage. When you see Luke Cage, he's a superhero that doesn't wear a cape or anything, but this guy's going to clean up the neighborhood.
And they joke around with him about his clothes all the time. Like, why are you wearing that? Like,
I think that was
like,
important in society too as a whole, because
even
not
Jessica
only does
Jones.
he not wear an outfit, he wears a hoodie. So that's going back to Trayvon Martin and all that stuff too. Which is, like, I think small stuff like, that's why I say we're getting ready to be in the renaissance of black filmmaking. Like, you know, and I think it's going to be great, which it's kind of a shame because we should have hit this point decades ago.
Everything
now that we're getting
time.
here, exactly, and now is the time.
Yeah, it made me think about blaxploitation films, like, which me and my friend Derek, who like references he samples a lot of just culturally like big movies in his music and his beats and stuff like that, like Star Wars, like old blaxploitation films and things of that nature. And I was thinking about blaxploitation films, and I'm thinking, okay, like in the 70s when blaxploitation films were big, late 60s, 70s. After that, a lot of Charles Bronson movies came out. You guys, and you got the Dirty Harrys, and movies like that who took from the blaxploitation. You even think about like movies like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Quentin Tarantino movies.
The next iteration of those.
Blaxploitation films are heavy in his. Into what
even like
because it was
Jackie
an
Brown and all that
influence.
stuff.
It was an influence, exactly. So going back to like what David said, that renaissance of just the freshness, you know, just directors taking more risks, pulling from more elements, pulling just from their predecessors from back, you know what I mean?
I loved Shaft. I'm telling you, I loved Shaft. Back, even though I was a young
that was
girl,
like modern blaxploitation when it came out.
Yeah, absolutely. That was it at its finest. So
he was a cop. He was, you know, taking down the neighborhood. It was really, really good. Even like New Jack City, I loved that too.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, especially for people who are listening, if you're not familiar with blaxploitation, there's a lot of great films to get into.
Yeah.
But if it's hard for you to get into, one of the best films you can get into is, it's a newer film. It came out within the past 10 years is it's blaxploitation spoof. It's Black Dynamite
exactly.
with Michael J. White.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
exactly.
it encompasses everything a blaxploitation is, but it gives it that modern humor.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and there's a sequel coming out this year,
there's a sequel coming out this year, too. Yeah, so, yeah, you're exactly right. That's
one of my all-time favorite movies.
That something that could ease you in, for sure. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, even stuff like Jackie Brown, Quentin Tarantino's film, that's...
Exactly.
It's not heavy blaxploitation, but
it's definitely drawn from it.
And what's her name? The actress. She was in a lot of blaxploitation in the 70s too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool little avenues you could take to get into that genre. But as a film lover myself, I highly recommend it because that's one of my favorite genres is blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Because it, especially if you understand especially American culture at that time.
Yeah.
And everything the world was going through.
Yeah.
Those movies are great.
Yeah, they're really real.
What was cool is they were cheap, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But what it does is it breaks down the barriers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think for a long time we've had quite a bit of barriers, and this is breaking down the barriers that, you know what, anybody can be a superhero. It doesn't matter.
Pam Grier.
Pam Grier, that's right, Pam Grier.
Sorry.
I mean, I've seen kids. I've seen like little white kids dressed up as Black Panther on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite things seeing too was not only the comic book cosplay that was going on, but there were people on opening night dressed up in traditional African garb.
Yes, I saw that too.
Exactly.
Like linen passed down from family.
My cousin Bethany, her mom is Belizean, my mom's sister, and her dad is from Kenya. So that's in the Instagram picture. That's what I have is Kenyan.
Wow,
guard. That's what I was wearing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You know what I mean. But then also the cast when they went to South Korea, there were people who in South Korea, I guess, who supposedly did a DNA test and even figured that they even have a little bit of African in them too, and they even wore garb.
Yeah.
So it's not even looked on as like they didn't even take it like as like which the South Korean people told them like I hope you guys are not offended, like refer the message to the cast like hope you guys aren't offended, like we're just so ecstatic you guys are here. We want to support, and this is our way of showing you guys that we're supporting.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what they thought too. They're like, no, like, actually, just come on when we go in. Like, don't even worry about stuff
like that. But see,
that's
what was happening before. People, you can't wear this, you can't wear that.
Yeah.
There was an offense.
And you absolutely can. It's just us coming to an understanding and like
I honestly believe everybody has a mixture of everything. If you come down to it, you'll find out that everybody's, because I would say that to people, even though I look the way I look, you don't know what I have.
Yeah, and I find it almost impossible that no one has some sort of everything. I just find
it's just impossible.
I'll tell you,
since I know my family line, I know exactly.
To me, there's just no way.
As an anthropologist, I'll tell you, we all have African genetics at a baseline in us,
absolutely.
Cradle of civilization.
Yeah.
So I mean. But depending on it's like how much. But at a core, it's something like we could all relate to is we literally all come from at one time the exact
African
place
nations,
on
exactly.
Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And I think especially like you and me, we're from the South American. My family's from South America. There was so much trade going on, so much slave trade that you see it in Brazil, you see it in Nicaragua, you see it in Belize, you see it all over. All over South America because that's what was happening then. The people were coming there and they were just mixing in. And my grandmother was from St. Lucia. She was on the island where they left them. So it leads me to believe that she possibly came from Africa or into France and then into Africa. I mean into Nicaragua or in those cultures. I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So if you haven't seen Black Panther yet, you guys haven't, but you
not
guys,
yet.
You guys will.
Yet.
That is my that
you guys
honestly
will.
Ever since Iron Man came out 10 years ago now.
Wow,
I always wanted to. He was one of my favorite comic books. He was like number 3 to my Punisher number 1.
Plus, he's really powerful too. He wields Infinity Gauntlet. Like so, he's a powerful character also. Like just his power grid. Like he's just a strong character and an important character. So
not only is he powerful, but he is as like I'm trying to find the words for it.
Important?
He is like a very cultured and pure soul. There's almost nothing about him that, unless you're an ignorant person, that you could take and try and belittle.
Is he the only one with this power? Or is there more people?
I think I would say so, just because vibranium is in Wakanda and he has those resources. The Wakandans have the resource of vibranium, the most powerful, almost one of the most powerful substances or minerals or whatever it is in the universe.
So all the people do, or just him?
I mean, there's a scene in the movie, of course I'm not going to say it, but where you guys, the same question you just asked me right now would like be answered. You know,
okay.
Someone answers it straight up. So yeah.
So it's like Wonder Woman, because on her island, all the women are Amazons and they have that power.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same kind of thing.
It's almost the same kind of thing. He's just since he's the king.
He has the mantle of the Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly. He has the mantle of the Black Panther. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, too, like at least in the comic books, the Black Panther was a power passed on from father to son. Down generations.
Exactly.
But I think as a whole, and it could be that this could be what they're alluding to the movie, though, like the people in Wakanda were, just because of the environment they were in, were not like super beings, but they were just physically superior
than everyone else.
Just because of the environment they were in.
Just like the Themysciras.
Right.
Just where they are, where they're from, they just so happen to bear those traits or those.
Right.
Exactly.
Almost like because the women on that island, which there are no men, so I don't know how the women even come
created Zeus.
Maybe it is.
Zeus was
maybe
a busy man.
So
Very
it was.
busy.
So it's special powers on this island. The same thing with Wakanda. Same thing.
Yeah.
But it's a father-son pass down. Kind of thing.
Yeah. As far as the kings go, absolutely, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to see it. Even
you guys are gonna enjoy it, man.
I was looking for. It's kind of a guilty thing. I was looking forward to this film more so than Episode 8, only because I knew I was getting Episode 8. I never thought in my lifetime I would get a Black Panther
movie
film.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
No, I'm beyond ecstatic. I'm just waiting for
I just like it.
The time to go.
Yeah.
I just like it that it's going to teach kids, no matter who you are, no matter what color you are.
Exactly.
You can get into superheroes. You can and it's speaking to a different group of people.
And I've never been in a more diverse theater ever. The two times I've seen it, they were both packed. I mean, and when I mean packed, it was packed. Shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
You might not even get to sit your cup down in your cup holder next to you. That's what, and I really mean that. But it was the most diverse theater. I've never seen that many baby strollers in a movie theater either. Both times I went, so that just shows like people wanted to go see it. They didn't give a shit if they didn't have a babysitter or not. They're gonna they're gonna take their Infamil or whatever the fuck they took to shut their baby up and fucking enjoy the movie. So
that's like these are people that possibly have never seen a superhero movie ever.
And like I said, people were talking in line while we were waiting the first time I went to go see it, and they were saying like, I've never even seen a movie superhero, so this is my first one.
I imagine too that.
But see, he brought that out in people.
Exactly.
He brought it out in people. So I mean, I'm really happy that it did that. That it's done that for people that have never seen it. But a lot of times, like we're gonna be talking about con events. A lot of times, I'll go to a convention because I go to a lot of them, and you see people of all race and color. You know, and everyone's totally into their certain superhero, their certain thing, or even Star Wars or whatever. You know, everybody's into it there, and hopefully that'll open the door for the people that have never been to a convention before. They will, hey, we saw this Black Panther movie. What is this all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too.
They're going to want to come and see.
I think so. Just because, like I said, just the curiosity level of not even just Black Panther, just the Marvel universe. People never seeing superhero movies before in their life, and now people are, I'm going to make sure I see Infinity War. Like, I'm going to make sure I'm going to rewatch or get to watch Spider-Man Homecoming, or just go back and do my research. You know what I mean?
Right, and even delve into something else. You know, like some of the other superhero comics. You know, people will be interested in, like I said, going to different conventions because sadly I didn't get to see you at Stan Lee's Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You know, but see, you were there, and I mean, there's a lot of people that go. They want to be part of whatever this is.
Yeah, you know, and that's a good segue into our next topic, the con experience. My friend Ed, who was just here, I didn't even know he was going to be at the Stanley's Comic Con, and we're just walking around, and I see, so I was like, is that? There's no way. And then we just had this big, manly hug fest in the middle.
In front of the Saber Guild.
In front of the Saber Guild. We're just like, oh my God. And and I've always wanted to go to a con. I just never had the chance to go. I've been in like an anime expo one time a long time ago, but I didn't go to anything else. But I made sure to go to Stanley's Comic Con just to immerse myself in the
geekery of it all.
Yeah, because I was so I couldn't explain why I was so nervous to go there. I was really, really nervous though. I'm really not gonna lie. On the way down, I was like, my stomach was just really turning. I had to make a couple stops. Like, I was really nervous, and when I got there, I was like, I'm home.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is where I belong.
Yes.
My whole life. This is what was I thinking of even missing one, missing two, missing three, missing four,
Because
five?
you don't know, it's like what we were
It's the
talking.
fear of not knowing.
Right, and it's like what we were talking about in the very first show that we did, coming out of the closet.
Exactly.
You're thinking, what is this going to be like? Because
Exactly.
when I wanted to go to Comic-Con, I had never been there. I didn't know what it was like, and I walked in and I felt the same way. I'm home.
Home.
Yes, it was fantastic. I just couldn't get enough, and I was kind of depressed going home afterwards because I thought,
When it was
oh wow,
over."
it's over. I have to wait till next year to go again.
That's like the best way to explain it. Because I remember when I got my badge, and I put it on my neck, and I went. The thing is, I went with my friend Troy Allen, one of my best friends. He was one of those people who had a fear of coming out of class in high school. I remember, like, he was like the star basketball player at Silverado. I mean, straight out of a Disney movie, you could even say so. Like, basketball player, no one even expected him, like anime or this and that and that. And I remember one time before I even met him, I always thought like he was like kind of a douche or a little jock,
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, hey, what are you doing, man? He like hid the paper from me. It's like, are you all right? And it was hanging off the desk, and I snatched it, and he drew like a picture of like Gohan. And so I was like, oh shit, you're in the Dragon Ball Z. He's like, yeah, man, just chill. Like, fucking don't say anything. I'm like, what do you mean don't say anything? What is wrong with you? So for him, when we both put our badges on, and like we looked at each other like, oh shit, we're here right now. To when it was time to leave, we're just like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe we didn't go to any of these. What is wrong with us? Yeah.
Yes. And I had that experience of going to conventions, and then I had, oh my God, I want to dress up because I see everyone else dressing up in costumes. I want to cosplay. So I decided I'm going to cosplay, and I did Laura Croft as my first one because I love tough women. So I decided I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. But then when I was at, I think I was at Stanley's Comic-Con one year, I was dressed as an X-Men. And I talked to a friend at the booth that was at the Rebel Legion booth. And he answered, this was my friend Gabe, answered all of my questions about it. And I thought, you know what? I want to do this. Yeah. I want to do this. And so I went home and I talked to my husband. I said, I want to be part of this whole thing. And he's like, let's do it. So then I got to be part of it. But the first time I was at a booth at the convention where I'm behind the booth, I'm not walking by it, I'm behind the booth doing so. I was like a kid in a candy store. I loved it. I mean, it was just so much fun.
Yeah, it's really
talking
really fun.
to everybody, being in my costume, and then the very first time we did a show, I was because I actually did it at a dojo.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was so nervous, my palms were sweating, but it was my very first Jedi and Sith fight, and I got to fight with Count Dooku, and I had a blast. I had a blast, and it has been now 10 plus years that I've done this.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started this will be my 10th year. 2008 was the first time I went to a con, and now I'm doing this. So I've been a Jedi for about 2.5 years now. So it's been a blast. I've had a good time.
I told myself after the Stanley's Comic-Con that I was like, of course not, I maybe won't make every single con, but I'm going to go to as much as possible just because of the feeling I got when I was there. I was like, there's no way I should have missed these.
Yeah.
And I went to the Anime Expo. I was 14 years old. I just took my sketchbook and I was just drawing everything. I didn't really realize what was going on. I didn't appreciate what was going on.
The very first time I went to anime,
so I'm not
same
going to ask questions, take pictures. I'm not even thinking that. I'm just thinking like I need to find some of my favorite artists here. I need to find some of my favorite shows and stuff like that. But with Stanley's Comic-Con, it was more so like I want to kind of just like let people know what I have going on. And then there's a place I have where you guys are always welcome. So I was walking around like trying to introduce myself to people and network and stuff like that. But at the same time, just jaw dropped every time I turned. I saw Megatron this way, and I saw people dressed up as some of my favorite cartoon characters growing up, anime characters, video game characters. So your mind is just everywhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you're seeing kids running around too, like they're having a blast. They're with their parents who are like raising them just to be like little mini me's of them, like to like the same thing.
Exactly.
So it's just a. You know what I mean? It's just, there's food. So it's crazy.
It was fun. It's so much fun, and like I said, I really enjoy it. I've gone many, many years and to different ones. And this past weekend, we went to the Long Beach Con. David went with me. It was his first time at Long Beach. But he took a picture of a little boy who was dressed as Ant-Man.
It was adorable.
How old do you think he was? Maybe 3?
Like 3.
Yeah.
3, 2, 3,
But
4
he
at
was
the oldest.
He kept that whole costume on. He had the hood, the everything on. When you see the kids dressed like that, they love it. They pose for you, and they do because they want to be that. And when you cosplay, you're that character for the day.
Exactly.
You know, and it just gives you such a high feeling.
And that's something maybe one day I'll do. Maybe one day. Not saying, of course, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I would be.
You can do anything you want.
And that's the thing, too, is that you can do anything you want. So so now that you know you can do anything you want.
There was so many Deadpools there. My favorite Deadpool, though, was a guy walking around with just a Deadpool mask and dressed as Bob Ross with a wig and a paintbrush. He was Bob Ross Deadpool. I was like, oh, that's so great.
But see, anything's possible. That's the thing, is that
that's
anything's
the beauty
possible.
Of it. That is really what I got out of it. Was
Yes.
that, like, there's just one big room, basically, one big place, the convention center where Stanley's, and everyone's just like me. This is a room where everyone has something in common, and that was crazy to me when I actually going there.
Yeah.
It's like we all have one thing. Everyone here has a lot of things in common of the same thing,
and
if
love
that makes
of
any
something.
sense.
The love
Exactly,
of something,
we all
yes.
love this.
Right.
A lot. All of us. You know what I mean? So it felt good because you knew like you weren't somewhere like something bad's going to happen, of course. You just, you're amongst friends. Hi, how are you? Here.
But everybody's there because they love comic books. They love Star Wars. They love, anything that's there. I mean, I've seen the guys dressed as Predator. I've seen just about everything, I've seen just about every kind of. Now, we saw the one guy, he was dressed in the in the blue outfit, and he kept saying, woo!
Ric Flair was there.
Ric
You know what the best costume at Long Beach Comic Expo though was? Someone was a full-size porg.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
like, no
way.
And not only that, they made sounds, but not only did they make the porg sounds, they were controlling them. So, like, they would walk around and just be like,
what?
And then...
Yes, it was a giant
one
porg.
of one of the guys at Saber Guild was dressed as Kylo Ren, came up to the porg with the lightsaber to mess with it, and it knew to make the, in distressed call, not the normal call. I was like, this is the best costume ever.
It was great. Very cute. I loved it.
Yeah. I wanted to take it home with me. And whoever was in that costume could never take the costume off. They just had to be a pork for the rest of their life.
Yeah, just be a pork forever.
But it's an absolute love.
It is.
For it. And you see people, like I said, from all walks. It doesn't matter. You see green, blue, yellow, pink, black people. Everybody.
Yeah. You don't really appreciate that stuff until you see it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, and what I mean by that is like just human beings being in a room just content with, and happy just with what's going on, because you rarely see that. I mean, you turn on the news, you go on social media, you see just a bunch of bullshit
negative,
sometimes. A bunch of negative shit sometimes. Like, the stuff like that is like good for your soul. Like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Really, really. I'm not even trying to over exaggerate it or anything. It really is good for you. Like, to have just a day of just happiness, 2 days, 3 days, however long you're there at one of these events. Like, it's good for you because you go back rejuvenated, like with new ideas, with just a new outlook on just life. That's what happened for me. Like I said, I went to a PlayStation experience, but that was gaming. It was a little different.
Like, right.
I went there just
That's
to
some
game.
serious stuff.
Yeah, that was But like I said, the Anime Expo when I was 14, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything really as far as like how to network and how to like embrace myself in what was going on. But being older, being a 28-year-old at Stanley's Comic Con, I knew exactly where I wanted to go, who I wanted to talk to. and what I wanted to see and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
So,
think sometimes the very first time you go, because there's so much.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on.
So much.
You're not grasping it all because
Yeah.
there's just a lot, especially at Comic-Con too. You know, there was so much. We walked all over the place. There were different exhibits. There were different things. And now it's very difficult to get a badge. But, you know, when
Yeah.
I went, it was amazing. It was so much fun. And like I said, I was really depressed when I had to drive home because
Yeah.
I wanted more.
You wanted more. And it was what it was crazy how you said about there's so much going on. Now I'm thinking about it when I got in and you know, you're just at the convention level floor and everyone's just, you know, either just waiting to go upstairs or they're going and you see all these cosplayers and people taking pictures. Your mind is really discombobulated. You're just like, where do I start? Like,
Yes, exactly.
Where do I walk first? Do I get something to drink? Do I eat first? Do I like what? And that's what happened to me. I was just like, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't know.
Because there's so much.
It's just so much, but it's so much of the shit you like. So your heart's pounding,
Yeah.
like, so fast, so
the
hard.
adrenaline.
Yeah, and the adrenaline. You're just like, let's go here first, and you're just there. Let's take a break. No, let's get up. Let's go. Like,
Yeah, I always, I the very first time I went, to Comic-Con, we just walked all over. But then after that, I said, we're going to do this. We're going to walk down, we're going to go from aisle 100 all the way across. Now, panels are really hard to get into. So, because there's a lot of people waiting in line and stuff. And especially if you go one day, you don't have a lot of time for the panels because you need at least 2 or 3 days. Because if you're going to go like this coming WonderCon's coming up, you're going to want to be able to have one day where you can hit some panels.
Yeah.
So you know, those would be cool. Like I said, I've not really gone to a lot of them, but Comic-Con is really famous for Hall H. Everything goes down at Hall H. Yeah.
That's where
I heard about
all the
from
big
this
stuff's
Hall H.
unveiled.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the new comic book trailers and movies, everything is
Everything,
Hall
yes.
Even Star Wars.
Yes.
When Star Wars goes, they get Hall
Yeah,
H.
Yes.
I was listening to an Adam Sessler podcast like a couple years ago, and he was even joking around about Hall H. He was like, if you want to come find me at Comic-Con, look for me in what they call, like, what we all know, and like, he made it epic, like what they call Hall H. Like his co-hosts were like, ooh, like Hall H.
Yes. And it holds the most people. I think it holds up to 7,000 people.
Oh wow.
And you can go, once you go in there, you don't have to leave. You can stay there if you want. And so some people will stay through the whole day and see all the different panels.
Yeah.
You know, I think there was one year someone told me that when they did all of the, oh my gosh, X-Men. They did a panel for X-Men. All of the people from X-Men were there. They all showed up to do the panel. So you do see iconic stuff because I know when they did The Force Awakens, I think they did it there at Hall H. Afterwards, everyone got to go see a concert.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's one of my favorite Comic-Con things is they did the thing, and then J.J. Abrams invited everybody who was in Hall H to come with us down the street to go to a concert, that John Williams concert.
Yeah.
And it was funny because director Kevin Smith had a Hall H thing right after that, and he goes out and he sees that nobody's in the audience because he just like his whole audience just got.
He went to the concert. But see, it's just that it's those kind of things. It's the iconic things that happen while you're at these conventions. And I mean, it could be a small one or a big one. I've been to a couple in Pasadena, the Nerdbot Con, which is so much fun. It's a smaller con, but it's still fun. I've been to Frankensons to do like a small thing there. The Long Beach Con.
And I've been to Frankensons like when they they do. I believe Frankensons like on Wednesdays.
Yes.
And I've been to Frankensons a while ago just to pick up comic books and stuff like that. But I never went to a Frankensons when it was like one of those epic Frankensons.
Yes, we did a show one time there. This Saber Guild did a show, and we got to meet the gentleman that is Darth Maul. It was so great. I loved it. And Lando Calrissian.
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Why am I forgetting this? Billy D. Williams and his son were there, and I didn't realize it was him. He was watching us practice behind the curtain.
Billy D. Williams was at the Falcons-Rams game I went to last year, and someone yelled out, "Lando!"
Oh my gosh!
And he was like, "Hey man," like in a classic, and I was like,
Colt
"Oh
45.
shit!" Yeah, the Colt 45 guy. Like, yeah, someone yelled out, "Lando!" I remember it crazy. He was just like, hey, man. I was like, oh, shit.
He is the sweetest man.
He's the smoothest guy.
Yes.
He's still smooth as shit. He's old as hell. Like,
but you know what? How many people know who he is?
yeah,
Thousands and thousands.
People were walking by. Of course, there's people who didn't know who he was, and there's people who like knew who he was. Like me, of course, I wanted to say something, but you don't want to bother a celebrity.
Exactly.
But then that guy just did it for me. He was like, Landau, like he had a grudge with him or something too. Like, Landau, hey, he just like,
you betrayed Han.
what made you do it all those years ago? Like,
but see, people love that, and I love the fact that when you go to some of these conventions, a lot of these movie stars will be there because one of the kids from Stranger Things was there this past weekend.
What?
That was the only thing that had a line.
Okay,
it was him, and it was like around the convention.
Because people have questions,
and it didn't move.
They want to know.
They want to know. They had questions.
Yeah, because we need season 3.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to be more. I want to just be more. I just want to go to more cons.
Yeah. It makes you feel connected. It makes you feel connected with other people who love what you love.
Exactly.
And, my son is a really big fan of anime. So we go to the anime convention every year. And he is over the moon when we get in there. Just, I want to do this. I want to go there. I want to do this. I want to do, and him and his girlfriend take off. And I just walk around doing my thing. And
see, and I was thinking, when I was thinking too, is it weird that I feel like, is it weird that my chest is pounding? Is it weird that like I'm nervous? Is it weird that I'm itchy and giddy, like, and anxious? Like I really was thinking that, like, there's no way, like, and I'm looking over at my friends and they're just like, and they're doing the same thing with me. I'm just like, all right, because everyone feels like this too, and then we just take that first step through those doors, you just see just your favorite
everything,
you see
yes.
And you don't really know how to handle it. Like, and I just started whipping on my phone. I was like, I'm just taking pictures of any and everything. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, can I get a picture with you? Yeah, sure. I was like, oh, thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, you got a picture with Alex and Griffin. Yeah. Your picture is with Alex and Griffin. At the Saber Guild booth.
Yeah.
She was actually Padme when she was pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yes. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, so you knew you.
I know them.
You know them. Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes.
Okay,
they're part of our group,
okay.
And that's they're going to be the ones that we interview for costume making.
Oh, I wonder if I show them the picture. I was like,
I bet they'll remember.
Yeah, okay.
They're really great. He does. He fixes lightsabers. He puts them together and constructs them for you if you want. And then Alex makes costumes.
Okay.
So Griffin and Alex, we're going to be interviewing them soon. So
that's pretty dope. That's dope. Yeah.
Because I think it'd be fun to do the costume making of it. We'll get into talking about how people come up with ideas and how they come about making these costumes, and what inspires them to make the different costumes and things like that. So I really love it. But I mean, like I said, I've met so many wonderful people through all these conventions. So many wonderful people. I have a friend that he's the hip hop trooper. He's a stormtrooper that's all in red with the big boombox radio.
You should look at his Instagram.
Yes. And I actually saw him at a couple of conventions, and then I went to an event, and he was there, and so I got to talk to him. And he just does so many wonderful things for kids. I mean, and he's now in another state, but when he was here, he just did all kinds of great functions for kids. And never said no. He was out on the Skid Row passing out food one time, and just does all kinds of great things. And I think that community, the superhero community, the geek community, whatever you want to call it. They want to go out and do things, and be part of part of a bigger thing.
Exactly, because there is that. There's a bigger thing than just, it's big, like cosplay. Of course, is cosplay, but you can use it for so much more.
Exactly.
You can make a kid's day who's having cancer or something. You can make a kid's day who's sick.
We're selfless.
Yeah, or exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
So, and that's exactly why I do what I do for the Saber Guild, because the first time you do a performance and you see a smile on a child's face, they really believe that you're this Jedi.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, when we went to Tomorrowland and my son saw the Jedi and he got down on his knee, he was like, hey, I want you to hit me with this. Sort of my son didn't hesitate at all. He was like, all right, yeah. and he got up. He was like, that's why we do it, man. Like, that's why we do it. And I was like, you're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry. But yeah, that's the awesome part of it too.
Yes.
And I would always see, of course, the cosplays from afar on my phone, on the computer or whatever. So
but when you see it up close.
Yeah, when you see it up close and you see the dedication people put into their costumes to where they look exactly like the character, you appreciate it. You appreciate the time and the effort and the amount of work they must have put into doing it. So
Yes,
like, yeah.
but you see every part of that, because I remember going to one to a convention, and there was a man. He wrapped himself in foil because he was the Silver Surfer, and all he had was a and all he had was this cooking tray as his surfboard. But that's
wow.
but that's what he could do.
Yeah,
And he was happy to do it.
He was so content. That's
exactly.
crazy.
But a lot of people. There's no judgment. To me, there's no judgment. You this is what you want to do, and even if it's a store-bought costume.
Yeah.
You're happy to do it. You
That's
want to
freedom.
be, you want to be in
Yeah.
it. You want to be participating. You want to be part of that.
Yeah.
No, that's one thing you'll notice is the people who go, oh, that costume sucks, or I don't like that costume, are people who don't cosplay. The people who cosplay, they just want you in a costume.
They just want you in a costume, exactly.
They just want you to do whatever you feel is
Exactly.
fun. They
Right.
don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no judgment, and it doesn't matter if you're thin, you're fat, you're
Yeah.
tall, you're
Yeah.
short, you're whatever. You can
cosplay.
Yeah, you're cosplaying and doing what you love. There is no judgment. I mean, even though there's some whatever, but for the most part, no.
Yeah.
For the most part, everyone's just out having fun.
I mean, one of my favorite moments of Stanley's Comic-Con is when I saw a dude dressed up as John Constantine. And I was like, oh man, I have to take a picture with him. So I go up to him and I tell him,
I
like,
love Constantine.
is it okay if I take a picture with you? And he's like, oh, okay. And I was just like, oh man, why is he being like a dick? You know what I mean? I was like, are you sure? I was like, I don't have to take one. He was like, oh, just hurry up, I don't care. And I was like, oh, you're acting like Constantine. He was like, yeah. And I was like, I really don't care. I was like, all right. I was like, thank you. I didn't get it at first.
But
he was in character.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
in character, and I was tripping out. I was like, oh, why is he being a douche for, man? I just want a picture.
But
I was
when
like,
when we are at the booth, let's say when we're at the Saber Guild booth, we have to use our Star Wars names. We cannot use our regular names. They want us to use, because you're in character.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
sometimes I have a couple of friends that are Obi-Wan. They've got the English accent going on, even though they're not English. But they're the Obi-Wan character.
Yeah.
And the Mace Windu character, and Kylo Ren. When Griffin does Kylo Ren, he's fantastic.
He got into it. He
gets
got
into it.
really into it. He got into it so much where I might get stabbed today on accident, but okay.
But see, that's the whole part of it. That's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
So I hope a lot of people decide to say, you know what, I'm going to step out of this after they listen to our show. I'm going to go to a convention. I'm going to go to, because there's all kinds. This part of the year starts the convention season going, and it's all over the place. I've been to the one in Vegas. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
The Vegas Con. I wanted to go to Rose City, which is I believe it's in, oh my gosh, I can't think of, Washington maybe? It's up north somewhere.
Okay.
I would love to go to that. There's the San Jose Con I've not been to.
Arlie's brother went to San Jose.
Did he like it?
Because he lives in San Jose. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, it's a big convention.
Big time.
Yeah, I would love to go to that.
Yeah.
I've even been to Dragon Con, in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to step outside of California and go to a different convention. That's why I went to the one in Vegas, and then went to the one in Atlanta, and it was worth it. I had a good time.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely just intrigued, like you said, like just checking out other ones.
Yes.
Just because, just to see what it's like somewhere else.
Yeah.
Instead of just California. So, like, I can't wait for WonderCon. Like, I got my ticket on time. Like,
I think ToyCon is this weekend, too, and this one in Vegas.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's this weekend, ToyCon.
Oh.
But they've got all kinds of different ones, and I even have a friend that did something from Black Panther this weekend, and it was maybe a police officer or something like that.
Uh-huh.
He had like all these different like gunshots and stuff. It was my friend Andre.
Okay.
He did. I think he said it was from Black Panther. It looked like a police officer with. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, wait, did he play the guy from Terminator? Did he have like big bullet holes in him, but they were like metal? Because there's that. I know people do that as a cosplay where they do the police officer from Terminator 2.
Is there a police officer scene or something in Black Panther?
A police officer?
Yeah.
Not
or a bad guy that's trying to get him?
A police officer?
Or some sort of bad guy that's trying to get Black Panther?
Well, there is a bad guy trying to get, but there's not a police officer.
Maybe it just looked like an officer uniform.
But I mean, it could be from the Avengers animated movie that had Black Panther in it too, as well. So it could be that also.
Or it could be Terminator. I'm not sure. I have to ask him what it is because I thought he said that. But his costume, he actually cut his hair to get into costume. Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's dedication right there. Yeah. Now, I've done different things. I've worn wigs. I've colored my hair, done different contacts to get into the character.
Yeah.
So I must have at least, 15 different color wigs.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I followed people who I took pictures with, and we exchanged Instagrams like right there on the spot. So that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's pretty social, and that's what I like about it too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was nervous. I was really, really nervous, and I'm not even like lying. I was really nervous, and then the ice broke when I asked for my first picture. I was like, "This isn't so bad at all. No one's frowning. Everyone's like pretty happy to be here. There's why should I be nervous?" And then the experience started.
The first time someone asked me to take a picture with them, I was so excited. I was in my Lara Croft costume, and I was excited because I thought, wow, somebody wants to take a picture with me.
Yeah.
They want me as in their picture.
Yeah.
And I've done everything now. The weirdest one I've ever had was when I was in my Ahsoka costume, and a gentleman wanted to take a picture with me, and he said, "This is not for my kids. This is for me." And I thought,
jeez.
Like, what?
I thought that one was a little.
Uh-oh.
Run.
At least he was being honest.
Yeah, and when I was at Long Beach Con a couple years back, I wore my Ahsoka costume, and a man tried to give me money for the picture. I said, no. I'm just taking the picture. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to make money. I do it for fun.
Exactly.
At my age, I just do it for fun. But
Cons are fun.
Yeah, and I love getting in a costume. And I mean, if I do it, I said everyone talks about Halloween and stuff, and to me, Halloween is all year long.
All year long.
All year long, because I'm getting in a costume.
That's every kid's dream, though.
Yes.
If you told a kid that, like,
that's why I'm Peter Pan.
Yeah. You get to do what all year long? Like,
exactly.
That's every kid's dream. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, David, this weekend, seeing everybody in costumes and stuff, it really made him want to get out and, hey, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had to join Saber Guild finally.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's going to join.
She kept pushing me into it in a nice way. and then once I saw how much fun, because I have like bad taste to being in costuming clubs from past.
Gotcha.
So I was like, I don't want to do this again because it turned out to be more stress than fun. Then when I saw it, when I met everybody there, from Saber Guild, and when I saw how much fun they were having, just standing there,
Temple Pride.
Yeah, just standing.
Like
there.
honestly, I stood out them more with their booth than I did walking around because that was more interesting. The dichotomy of everything between all of them than walking around.
And he was there to watch us practice too, to make sure we got. And sometimes you think, it doesn't take very long to practice. What, a good 10 minutes? How long were we over there? Half hour, almost an hour.
Oh yeah, almost an hour.
Practicing over and over and over because we wanted to make it perfect.
Exactly.
So that when you go and watch us do our show, you're like, oh my gosh, these are really Jedi and Sith fighting.
So what would be next for David in his Saber Guild journey? What's next for you?
Oh, I gotta get my lightsaber and
then
my
to practice.
robe and practice. Start going to practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't know how much actual.
I'm gonna have to drag Aaron there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
I don't know how much actual lightsaber dueling I will do, especially performance wise, only because of my injuries.
Yeah.
But so I go.
Jim
have fun.
was at the booth and he didn't do too much. There's some people that don't. They watch the booth or they come and they troop and they do different things because some events require just trooping. That means you're just walking around talking to the kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then some require a show, but not everybody doesn't. If they choose not to be in the show, they don't have to.
They don't have to. Oh, okay.
It's up to you. No peer pressure at all.
Also, your lightsaber's next.
Yep. That's gonna be the first thing.
He said he wanted purple.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, I've already.
Mace Windu.
Since I don't have the stuff here to build one, I'm just gonna get one. Just to go ahead and get one, and I think it all depends on how money works. Cause
absolutely.
I guarantee it's probably gonna end up. I'm probably gonna get outfit, lightsaber, all of it at the same time. But if something has to come first, it's gonna be a lightsaber. Just so I can start going and practicing and doing all that stuff.
For me, that's what it was. Lightsaber first. Lightsaber first. I actually ordered two of them. I ordered a a silver one and a black one. So,
Okay.
and I got one for my son because I thought, oh, he'll come with me, but he doesn't have time with school and everything. And so I use either or. I have an Ahsoka one also now. So I have 3 of them.
Okay.
But some of my friends have upwards of 10, 15 sabers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, some of them, they,
Yeah.
but I do have a Mace Windu one. I think it's one of the display ones. So you cannot fight with this one.
Okay.
So I just turn
collectors.
it on. Yeah, it sits on my desk.
Oh, that's dope. You doing that's dope though.
That I have it on my desk.
Yeah.
I have a lot of toys and things. I have a lot of I have a BB-8 on my desk. I have a Darth Vader. I have a oh my gosh, a Shakti. I have a Barriss Ophi. Yeah, I have a Darth Maul on my desk, and I have like a Yoda, and I actually have Obi-Wan. I have Padme sitting on my desk is kind of crowded with Star Wars stuff. I have a couple of coffee cups and things that are different Star Wars characters, and a lot of my pictures from the Saber Guild. I have different ones that I have sitting there because I'm very proud of that.
Do you suggest for someone to be a Jedi and a Sith, or do you think you kind of just go with what you're comfortable with? Or
whatever you're comfortable with. I started off as a Jedi, just doing Jedi, and then I've done that for 2 years, and now I now have a Sith costume, and I as a Sith also. But I mean, I see myself more as a Jedi. But when you have to be evil, you have to be evil.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think you're gonna be both, or?
I'm gonna start Jedi. I'm pretty sure I'll do Sith too, but
you're looking forward to
because
it,
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not either. Like I've always aligned with the Jedis, like Jolie Bindu, Mace Windu, all these guys that
the
were
good
gray
guys.
Jedis.
Yeah.
Like
There's no gray Jedi.
there technically is gray Jedi.
No,
Ahsoka
there is
Tano is
not.
a gray Jedi.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
No, she is not.
I would argue.
There's
she,
Oh, you're
gray.
gonna
She
have
left the
angry
Force.
people writing us. There is
She
no
left-
gray
yeah,
She
Jedi.
left the
Bring on
Jedi
the
Order.
hate
She
mail,
didn't turn
please.
to the
Bring it
Sith.
on.
And the reason her lightsabers are white in New Canon is when she repaired the red ones because she stole Inquisitor
Yeah, she
lightsabers.
stole in the
And she
Inquisitors.
repaired them, but she's not a Jedi anymore, so they didn't take to green or blue.
I think she never
She's-
was a Jedi. She was part of the temple, and I think that's how she was able to escape.
Plus,
Order
Episode
66.
8 was all about the gray Jedi.
No, it was not.
Oh,
There
yes, it
is
was.
no gray Jedi.
It was about the balance in the Force, taking from both sides, not being total light or dark.
Well,
what
that's how
gray
it
Jedi
was.
are.
Oh, we're gonna go on a tantrum. That's
Tantrum
how,
on.
Yeah, that's how it was in the beginning. There was no Sith and Jedi. There was just the Force, and you had people, isn't that right? You had
Yeah.
There was no good, bad. There was just all.
There was I mean, it depends, because they're still rewriting all the ancient history now for Jedi, but it started out as the Jedi.
Right.
And they were, the guys
The
on
Jedi.
Tython. They started the Order. They didn't, and they weren't,
They don't become
they weren't
Sith
nothing
until they
like-
go onto that planet.
they were nothing like the Jedi are now. They saw the light, they saw the dark, they embraced both sides. And then there was the whole, split where a bunch of exiled Jedi went to Korriban, and that's when they met with the Sith species. They learned of the dark side, and they became the actual Sith. And then over time, the rest of the others developed into what the Jedi Order is now.
Right.
And that's why technically there is gray Jedi.
There's no gray Jedi.
They just haven't actively said this is a gray Jedi in lore. But what a gray Jedi is, an embracing of the light and the dark, and using it for not necessarily good, but being it's like a lot, like you could compare it to politics. A lot of people go, I'm Democrat or I'm Republican, but they stay on one side. They never cross. And then you have people like me and a couple of other people I know who are
That are a gray Jedi.
that are essentially gray in politics. Are like, no, I have understandings of both sides. But I use my understanding to further what is good for
but
everyone,
it doesn't make
not
for a
as what
gray
is.
Jedi. It just.
Like I said, there's gray Jedi. They could be argued that they are canon. They just haven't said this person is a gray Jedi.
There's no gray Jedi.
There's gray Jedi.
That was
That
my
could
friend
be our
Deb's.
next one.
That was my friend Deb's. That's what he said Ray was. He said she was.
I don't.
I would have
really-
argued she was
before
too,
the
but
movie
I
came
think
out.
But
after
we
After-
really
came out.
don't know. We really don't know exactly a lot about her, and I think hopefully the next movie is going to talk about that. They're going to
Yeah.
tell us, what a little bit more about her because people want to know. They want to know a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like Snoke. We don't know about this guy, so people are curious. So hopefully in a book or in an next movie, we'll be able to find out who they are. Even Finn. Let's find out about where he comes from, you know, and how this
FN 2187.
right.
Snoke is actually the closest person to being a Grey Jedi because he's not a Sith, he's not a Jedi, and
That's it.
like he tells Kylo Ren, you embrace both sides of the Force, the light and the dark. I maintain this Grey Jedi. Okay, let me rephrase that to appease you. There may not be an order of the Grey Jedi, but there is a Grey Jedi mentality, like Qui-Gon Jinn and all these people who...
he went outside the frame of the Jedi, but that did not make him gray. He went outside the frame of it. Did a little thing.
Even Mace Windu can be argued because Mace Windu's combat style
Is a
Sith combat.
Aggressive, very, very aggressive.
That's the only combat style the Jedi use that you have to pull on your emotions and tip over into the dark side.
But see, that's what made him... Because he is a Jedi that has so much wisdom, he's able to
he was one of the few only people who could maintain that balance. And that's what all about being a Grey Jedi is being able to maintain that balance to
We're getting off
better...
this subject.
I have so much stuff and material to send you.
We're getting off this. Saber Guild does not approve the Grey Jedi.
Oh, I know they don't. I know they don't. Well, but one day they will.
He's gonna
because
ruffle
one
some
day,
feathers.
No.
I'm glad David's in the Saber Guild now because he gets to ruffle feathers, right?
Of course, I'll be a Jedi when I go in there. But what I guarantee you, within the next 5 years, and not even that,
you're wrong.
Grey Jedi will be canon.
You're wrong.
I guarantee you, because they were canon before.
Oh my God,
they were canon until Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Another great episode, if you ask.
Yes, we'll definitely have to do that. Well,
write David hate mail, please, so we could all read it together.
Well, that's all we have for today, and I want to thank everyone for listening to Radio Geonosis.
Great job,
Next
guys.
week, it's going to be kissing scenes and couples.
Ooh. Match me up.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Later.